Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. How is everyone today? Happy Tuesday! Happy Tuesday! Whew, it's Tuesday. I have an exciting deck for tomorrow. Um, for Self-Care Wednesday. It kind of comes on the heels of last week's subject. They're called sacred cycles, and if you're a guy and you're watching, these cards, even though they're very female oriented, are really kind of just out there for anybody. It's about the messages. And I think it's also good to get in touch with your feminine side, to get in touch with the cycles of life, the cyclical stuff. And baby sibling and I had a long talk when we were opening our goddess boxes yesterday, because I tell you, for as old as I am and as old as she is, it's just kind of like, wait, what? I don't get this cycle. What is this cycle about? And she figured out that they go with the seasons also. So it was a journey. It was a journey and a half. Good morning, Eileen. So today is Tuesday Thoughts, but I'm going to pull some cards. Oh, I guess those were the ones from yesterday. So let's get some new ones today. And then, oh, you know what? I also wanted to do the Rebel deck. I was feeling a little sassy today. A little sassy and saucy. Good morning, baby sibling. These are the ones I was telling you I wanted to make. So I literally made them this morning. I told her I wanted to make a pair of earrings that were very similar to the ones I posted last week, but I kind of wanted to keep them clear right here because I wanted to just make it look like they were floating. I think they look like they're floating. Not so much up close, but good morning, baby sibling. So let's, I love the Rebel deck. You know what? Those three came out, so I guess we'll just go with those three. So I'll do those at the end because clearly I'll do those with the Aloha challenge. I'm not so sure they'll appreciate that, but anyways, well, the sun came out on that one. For anybody who watched yesterday, I have to tell you, it was, oh, thank you for hanging in there, and thank you for coming back today. There was a lot of good advice that floated around yesterday. I was very raw and honest. There was a lot of people I noticed, just even on Facebook, that were having, just yesterday was very traumatic for a lot of people, and I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but I don't know why, but everybody seemed to be falling apart on the same days. So, you know what? This one kept coming up, so I'm going to do that one too. But, okay, I guess that's it. I do like this one. Home is where the Wi-Fi connects automatically. There are several places where I am literally set up to the Wi-Fi. Baby sibling's home is not one of them, so I guess that is not home to me. Just saying. I'm feeling better today. But my friend Tanya, who was on yesterday, my friend T, they call her T, for short. We texted after the perspective yesterday, and it turns out she just said one thing to me. So yesterday, I know I was in tears. I was kind of all over the place. I was feeling very off and very not centered or balanced. But I wanted to be raw and honest about it because, what people have to understand about the perspective is that, it is a perspective. It's anybody's perspective on what we talk about. How you want to look at things, how I look at things. But it's also about mental health, body positivity, trying to put some love and good into this world. And I think a lot of times, I grew up with around people who don't show emotion very often. I mean, something terrible has to happen before they allow the emotions come out. And I used to be that way. I used to hold them down. I used to repress them. I know people still who do this, who will not share their emotions in front of people because they look at it as a sign of weakness. It is not a sign of weakness. Being vulnerable is a superpower. And the reason I call it a superpower is simply for the fact that when you're vulnerable, to a degree, don't be naive. There is a difference. But when you're vulnerable, you show people it's okay to be raw, to be honest, to have feelings. It's okay to have feelings. If you know, if your higher power didn't want you to cry, you wouldn't have freaking tear ducts. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, I'm back. But you wouldn't have tear ducts if you were not meant to cry. But anyways, my friend texted me yesterday after the perspective, and she's like, I'm here if you need me. You know, we went back and forth. And I said, I just wish I knew what was wrong. And she said one thing that just, it opened the true floodgates. And I had the best soul cry that I needed in so long. She simply said, I think you miss your mom. And after that cry, it is like the storm lifted. It's like the sad cloud just decided, or the anxiety cloud and the depression cloud just moved away. And I felt so much lighter. In fact, it really kind of salvaged my day. And I did text with some friends of mine from my old job, and that really helped in the morning too. And then of course I had my conversation with baby sibling, and then older sibling and I just hung out for my birthday. And I didn't realize that. But the reason I want to share that now, before we start the perspective, before we go into the cards, before we go into today's topic, is because, you know, I was looking so far within that I didn't really see what it was. I don't know. I'm not sure how to put this. No, I was looking for the outside things instead of looking in. Now, you know, I was very honest last month during the self-love December that I was facing feelings finally, after all these years, about the holidays, and just really letting myself understand how I feel about it, forgiving myself, letting go of the shame and the guilt of anything that I may have done that, you know, when it came to being with family during the holidays. And I'm still getting better at that, but I really missed my mom, and I held myself accountable for far too many years about, you know, missing the last 2 Christmases with her. One, because I was not well. My head was just not in the right place. And then the following year because she was sick. She had a cold, which turned out to be cancer. But, I guess what I forgot though is that it's not over for me. My mom and I our birthdays are 11 days apart. Her birthday is now in 10 days. And we used to celebrate at the end of every January, the last weekend of every January. We, you know, because, you know, I was working, she was working at one point before she retired. And, you know, a lot of times the girls would, her golden girls, that's what they called each other, would, you know, and Dad would take Mom out for her birthday. So we always reserved the last weekend of January for us. It was just me and her. Dad could come along if he wanted, but it was our time. And I didn't think about that. And I think that's why I was really blue on my birthday to start with, because I realize I'm facing these things now, that there is no more celebration. But then I realized, why not? I'm not celebrating my mom's year around the sun anymore, because she stopped it. You know, she will forever be 66 years old. What I am celebrating is the fact that, you know, on her birthday, is that she was born. Without her, without my dad, there ain't no me. You know, so I celebrate the fact that this amazing person, you know I've talked about hers and my struggle quite a bit in the past, because I need people to know that life isn't perfect. Life is going to throw you doozies. And I think for me it was also therapeutic, because there's I look at my parents and I've always had them on these pedestals, and I still keep them there but I realize we're not all perfect, and I realize I don't have to be perfect. And I think that's what I was always trying to be, because I just always wanted to impress my mom, you know. But now I see her as she is. She was human. She was just doing the best she could on any given day. You know, my dad, just like my dad, he does the best he can on any given day. And, you know, my parents were revered by my cousins. Oh my God, they had like the best title, the party auntie and uncle. Seriously, I fell so far from the tree, it's not even funny. But I'm picking up slack. Okay, I'm picking up though. I'm picking up. I'm like Benjamin Button, except I'm not aging looks-wise backward. I'm just maturity-wise, I think I'm going backwards. That's not always a good thing. But it was that. And I needed to realize that that was a part of me that still needed to be healed. So my friend T also suggested, why don't you just keep up that celebration? Celebrate your mom on her birthday. Well, actually, she just said celebrate like you were together at the end of the month. So the birthday dinner that I had intended for yesterday, it just would have been an older sibling and I, we are going to do that the last weekend of the month, and we are going to celebrate my mother. And I guess not so much. Well, we're just going to celebrate. Period. Okay, it's just going to be a weekend of celebration, and I will remember her on her birthday. Like I said, I don't count the years anymore, and I stopped putting my mom would have been blah blah years old. It doesn't matter how old she would have been. The point is, she's not here anymore, not physically, and that's the part I needed to let go of. Okay, whether you believe in people coming to visit you or not, that's your choice. But no matter what you believe, they're always in our heart. And once we can resolve the fact that they're always in our heart, and that, if you do, stepping out of my lane for a moment, believe in the metaphysical side of visitations and whatnot, then they're always around us. They're always with us, guiding us, showing us the way. I will tell you a tiny example. My mom used to love to make earrings, and I never thought in my life I would ever be able to make one like this. It took me forever, simply based on the fact that I have big thumbs and fingers, okay? I have very long hands too. When I'm thinner, I look like I have freaking alien fingers. But I just remember just saying to her, look, you know what? Please, I need your help right now because I cannot seem to make this work. The beads kept falling off. I was lucky none of them fell on the floor, and because they just roll away, or but I remember reaching out for her for help and just saying, Mom, please, you know what? Can you help me with this? And an hour later, actually less than an hour later, I am wearing them. So, all right. So that was the thing. I miss my mom. And I can say that now without tears in my eyes, at least in this moment. There are going to be moments when we get emotional about people we've lost. Baby sibling posted some pictures from my 40th birthday, which feels like a zillion years ago. Good morning, T. I was just done bragging about you. And Sissy was in them. And it made me smile. It didn't hurt that time, but it made me smile. But just know that, when we lose people, it'll come in waves. Some days will be, some memories will come at you and you'll just laugh and giggle. Sometimes those same memories will come at you and you'll feel the pain. So just go with the flow. Just write it out. Don't worry about it. Don't, overthink it. Don't say, oh, I'm being a big baby or I'm not strong. No, your heart misses them in that moment. Now, you can go deeper and ask yourself, well, why does it affect me this way more than it did last time? It could also be the time that it's happening, The brain has that muscle memory, and your body has reactive memory, where I don't even know if that's the right term or not, but where certain dates that impact you so hard really can affect your body and your emotions because your body remembers. Your body remembers. Okay, so let's get to the cards. Home is where the Wi-Fi connects automatically. Home isn't a destination. It's a place that exists in your heart if you allow it to be. So, do I need to reiterate whose Wi-Fi is not on my phone? Just saying. Home isn't a destination. It's a place that exists in your heart if you allow it to be. All right. This one has been haunting me for a few days, and not in a bad way, but I keep going past it. But, this is from music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. I got this off the internet and it says Plato. I'm not sure if it is or not, but I'll go with it. Okay. So, music, and not the kind you play with, the actual philosopher. Okay. Plato. Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. I concur. It really does. And look, the little music. I used to have one of these. I loved it. The Monstera leaf. Honor, respect, and longevity. Live long and prosper. Okay, live long and I know, I'm a nerd. Family history. Oh, family history. Honor, respect, and longevity. The wall of waves. The wall of waves. A wall of water made of crashing waves separates you from the ocean of bliss. Have the courage to face the storm and sail out of the sea of misery. You can do this. Be brave and sail forth. I'm telling you, that came out of my head. That came out of my head. I'm impressed. I have to say, sometimes I just shock myself. A wall of water made of crashing waves separates you from the ocean of bliss. Have the courage to face the storm and sail out of the sea of misery. You can do this. Be brave and sail forth. Good morning, Amy. I know it can be hard sometimes. Like I said, I just finished telling you about why I was in tears yesterday and how you have to sometimes be raw and honest with yourself. And you know, it's also a reminder that when you share your story, you're helping people heal theirs. And that doesn't mean you have to, okay? Some people say, I don't want to share my story. You don't have to share your story if you're not comfortable. There are people that are on this planet that are meant to share their story to help others. And sometimes you were just meant to heal. So if you feel compelled to do it, do it. If you don't, it's okay. You don't need to step out of your comfort zone until you're ready to step out of your comfort zone. And it just may not be something that you want to do. But it does take a lot of courage. It does take a lot of, strength to heal that part of yourself. Not necessarily to share it. I mean, it does take a lot of courage to share it. So kudos. Okay. And there's a person on here that I hope is still listening that knows I'm talking exactly to them. I'm very proud of you. So, anyways, even in your darkest moments, the sun continues to shine. Keep moving forward. Ho'omau. Ho'omau. It's a Hawaiian phrase. Perseverance. Keep moving forward. Keep going forward. Do not give up. Please do not give up. The world needs you and your light. The world needs everybody who brings something beautiful to this world. Even if you're not putting it out for the world to see, you're putting it out to your people. Everything's a ripple effect, right? So, Tuesday thoughts. Here's a fun one. Gossiping affects the ego and leads to an imbalanced chakra. That's right. And more so, I believe it is. I'm going to pull that from here. The root chakra. That's right, the root chakra. At the end of one of the root chakras, there was this affirmation. In wisdom, accept what you cannot change. But you have the courage and help to change what is possible. It sounds a lot like the Serenity Prayer, which actually I found out is like 4 verses. So I just got a text message. And to the person that just texted me, yes, you were meant to. So do it. Okay. I'll be waiting to see it later. So anyways, in wisdom, accept what you cannot change, but you have the courage and help to change what is possible. Again, if you feel like this is for you, then do it. If you feel like you have this part of you that just wants to speak to the world, then speak to the world. If there's a part of you that doesn't want to speak to the world but is comfortable speaking to the people around you, then share your truth. The only way we can really end the stigma of mental health is if we stop pretending it doesn't exist. It exists. It's not a weakness. I can honestly tell you it is not a weakness. It is an illness, but it is not a weakness. It kind of goes back to last week, right? When we were talking about chronic pain and we were also talking about mental health. When a person with cancer has brain fog or fatigue or can't get out of bed that day, do you berate them or do you say, hey, I'll keep you in my good thoughts, or what can I do to help you? Now, imagine not having cancer, but having brain fog and fatigue and not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to shower, not wanting to talk to people, just wanting to isolate. Hoarding. Hoarding is a sign of mental illness. It's a sign of a deficient mental health. Okay? I hate the term mental illness. I prefer dinged up mental health. But it is what it is. It is an illness. And I'm not sure why I went in that direction, but it seems to me that it's because a lot of people will gossip about that. I don't know what's wrong with them. Oh, she's got something wrong with her. Or people will look at you like you have 10 heads. If you're straight up telling them, hey, yeah, I suffer from a mental health issue, then all of a sudden, they either start freaking out and think you're going to just, implode and take everybody out in the office, or, they're afraid you're going to just do something bad to yourself. That's not always the case. The more honest you become with your mental health, the more honest, you can be with other people. And if they can't accept that, when they can't accept that, this is why we need to change the narrative. We need to not just blurt it out to people's faces. We need to make them understand. When my dad and I were first talking about, when I first finally told him, look, I suffer from depression. I was diagnosed when I was 20 something years old. Mom did kind of sweep it under the rug because we don't talk about that. And I don't blame her. I used to, but I don't blame her anymore, because that's the generation she grew up in. You didn't talk about it. The only time you talked about it is when it ended in tragedy. And sometimes you have to wonder, if we would have talked about it a long time ago, would we be where we're at right now? Would we be able to set a better, as Gen Xers or baby boomers, be able to set a better example for millennials? And, and they're really kind of the ones who put it on the map and made it okay. They're the ones who started coming out saying, look, there's something wrong with me. Just listen, please. And then slowly but surely, people like me, who are technically the generation before them, started coming out of that little dark corner saying, oh, okay, look, I'm going to follow your lead because maybe it is safe. Maybe I won't be judged. But guess what? We still get judged. But when my dad and I were talking, it was actually a very, very good talk, because it was not in one conversation. It was over several long conversations that we had. And what I really, really liked about that talk was the fact that in the very last conversation that we, like long conversation, he understands that he'll never understand it now. And I tell him, I try to help you. My goal is to try to help people understand that even we don't really understand it. We sit here and we try to figure out our brains every day. But he said to me, and I think this is what really hit home for him. He said to me, I wish I could understand what you go through so I can understand it more. And I told him, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. And then I followed that up with, and mine isn't even as bad as a lot of people. I said, I have major depressive disorder, which is kind of, I call it run of the mill. Now, for other people, it wouldn't be run of the mill. There's a lot of people who couldn't even handle what I have to handle every day without, just wanting to crawl under a rug and hide. Okay. And that doesn't mean that I'm not saying that other people couldn't, or that it doesn't make them strong. It's just, I'm used to it now. I know I've embraced this. I've embraced that this part of me is like a child that I have to nurture on the daily. And it's the floof. Remember, that's what I call it. I call it the floof. And I tuck the floof right in my heart, because I know that if I take care of the floof, there are going to be good days, there are going to be bad days. But I do my best every morning to try to maintain. I have an alarm that goes off at 8 o'clock every weekday, 12 o'clock every weekend, for a mental health check-in, just to see where I'm at and how I'm doing. I need to pay attention to them more, because a lot of times I just hit bye, sorry, see ya. But when I told him that, it seemed to click. It really seemed to click. And he's like, okay. He's like, I think I get it now. He's like, I get it, but I don't get it. And I said, that's good. But I said, I think what people like me are trying to express to others is just don't be quick to judge. Don't be quick to assume that you know where we're coming from, that you know how we're feeling. And I think this is also why it's important for people who do have, who do fall under the mental health umbrella, to be honest. You don't have to be honest with the world, okay? This is what I do. This is one of the things that I really kind of found has become more of a life purpose for me, because I do have the gift of gab, and I do have the gift of writing. And I'm very blessed to have those. I feel very fortunate that these are two of my gifts. I need to do more with them, but after, a lot of talking and convincing from baby sibling a long time ago, it is something that I realized I can do. And as these perspectives, and it once called the vibe, started going more and more and further, it became apparent to me that this is something that is helping people. And so I put myself out there. I don't put everything out there. Well, I guess now I have, because last week's conversation, which is going to be kind of a part 2 tomorrow. It is what it is. All right. I don't have anything to prove to anyone. I don't have anything to hide from anyone. And I put my story out there to help people heal theirs. But like I said, you have to do what you're comfortable with. And maybe it's not your thing, but maybe going out there and becoming a counselor to help other people is, or maybe going out there and, creating change, like laws and stuff like that, and creating awareness and help for people is what your goal is. We kind of got off the subject here, but in a way, I think in a way it's not. The whole thing was supposed to be about gossiping and how it affects the ego and leads to an imbalanced chakra. But gossiping also comes from people who are insecure and who need to feel superior to others, who need to feel better than others because they don't feel good about themselves. And that is a mental health issue. It may not be an actual spoke of the mental health issue, but it's a self-love issue. And that kind of leaves you at the crossroads. Is this something that I need to understand more about myself? Or do I just need to learn myself, learn more stuff about myself and love myself more? Do I need to be there for myself and, put myself first every so often? That's why Wednesday, no matter how many subjects across the board we change, or I change during this perspective, Self-Care Wednesday has always been Self-Care Wednesday. For at least the last year. And the reason I put it on Wednesday is because Wednesday is smack dab in the middle of the week. You have 2 days, 2 days in, away from the weekend, 2 days towards it. But how are you doing in the middle? It's the mental health check-in for your middle of the week. It's the, I need to check in with myself and see how I'm doing. I have Monday and Tuesday, which, the first 2 days of a standard work week. How have they been treating me? And am I doing okay? Am I breathing? Am I taking this time for myself to make sure that I am okay? Sometimes we gossip because we don't want to look at our own lives. We'd rather dissect other people's lives. I do believe that there is a difference between gossiping and venting. I do. To me, gossiping is when it is literally none your business. And look at the magazines out there, straight up. Okay, look at how some people choose to keep their lives so private because the world feels like everybody should know their business. No, nobody needs to know your business. Okay, I'm sorry, I am not one of those people. I don't prescribe to the idea that if you are well known that your life should be on display. No, you're allowed your private time. Okay, if you're doing public, functions, I get it. Yes, but when you're in your own time, you should be given your own time. But people just need to know. And a lot of times people need to know because they're so sad or lonely in their own lives. And I don't mean they're sad. I mean, they're sad. They're like legit sad and lonely. And maybe they're not where they want to be. Maybe they're not living the life that they had planned for themselves. I sure shit know I wasn't. And I had to come to terms with that yesterday. Yesterday's perspective was crazy. It was all over the place. It was like a freaking roller coaster ride that you did not want to be on. Not a fun one. But as I'm talking to you now, I'm realizing that life happens while you're busy making plans, right? Is that the quote? Life happens while you're busy making plans. And it's the truth. And I'll tell you, my birthday was so low key yesterday, but when I kind of replayed it through my head, I realized I did something I'd never done on my birthday before. I went with the flow. I did complain at one point because sibling was like, let's go get dinner. And it was like 10 miles from home. Okay, it wasn't 10 miles, but it was far. And I was just like, seriously? Why are we going all the way out here? But it worked out and it was nice. And for the most part, I went with the flow. Now I have to say for the most part, because I guess that really wasn't totally going with the flow. But, long story short, just don't resist. Be non-resistant. Okay? Be a Teflon pan. Just let everything slide right off of you. Because when you hold on to things, when you try to overanalyze it, when you try to overthink it, you're going to make yourself crazy. You're going to hurt yourself, whether you have a dinged up mental health or not. And I am slowly learning this. And I say slowly because I do resist. Don't be me, okay? That's the other reason I do these things, is to show you, hello, what not to do. Right? I am like the warning label on things. And, but even warning labels get better. And, yesterday I was talking about how I looked back across my whole life. Well, not my whole life, but I looked back over the last 9 years. I'm 49, okay? And I looked back over the last 9 years and I thought, God, this is one of the things I talked about. I really thought my 40s would be different. I really thought they'd be different from my 30s. And they were. Did I get everything that I wanted to at the beginning? No, but I got the most important gift in the entire world. I got my mental health back. And it doesn't mean I don't have a dinged up mental health. I do. But I taught myself the tools. I went through all the shit. I went through all the crap. And you know what? I saw a post from a friend yesterday who was, wasn't sure they wanted to share this post. Very raw, very honest. And I am so proud of her. And I'll tell you why I'm so proud of her. Because she is legit at least 20 years younger than me. And I look back and think, she is doing what I wish I could have done in my 20s. Healing. Figuring it out. Learning to just face it and go through it. Try to understand it if you can. If you can't understand it, just say, you know what, then, you know what, this is something I may not understand, but okay. It is what it is. She is learning her truth about herself. And that is the one thing I wish I would have said yesterday. Don't waste your time. Good morning, baby bear. Don't waste your time worrying about what other people think. I was so afraid of sharing my age yesterday, simply based on the fact that I was going to think, okay, well, she's a loser, or she's older, or geez, And then, of course, you think, God, I'm 49. Who the hell's going to ever want me at 49? Because you hear these other people saying, all these derogatory things about when you get older. But you know what? I feel young. I feel great. And knowing that I have nothing to prove to anybody but me made the world a difference when I was thinking about yesterday. Last night in bed. That was the most important thing to me last night. And I am right where, just like Eileen said to me yesterday, I am right where I'm meant to be. And then she got the Rent song stuck in my head. Forget regrets, no day but today. Stay in the moment. If you cannot do it one day at a time, do it one moment at a time. Okay, I know we totally got off subject. I know we totally got off topic on, the whole gossiping affects the ego. Maybe we'll save that for later, okay? Or maybe this is just something to plant a seed in. But I really feel that what I've talked about today is where we needed to go. Where we needed to be. Because I will tell you, when people have mental health, people will gossip. When it finally came out that I had mental health issues, I knew there were people talking about it behind my back at work. And it kind of became, it is what it is, but I don't regret it. I don't regret sharing it because I think that was a turning point for me. I was finally able to tell somebody, hey, this is my problem, and I'm fine right now. You know, I got blindsided with a call from HR, which was totally unnecessary and totally uncalled for. And, you know, but it's okay because it added to my healing. It added to where I am today. And it made me want to fight that much fucking harder for everybody out there who is just like me. Whether your mental health is as bad as mine or not as bad as mine, or if it's worse than mine. I honestly don't think mine is that bad. I have major depressive disorder. I'm about mid-grade, okay? So, you know, it just is what it is. It is the run-of-the-mill depression. And I see so many more people out there struggling so much harder than I do. But don't compare. Please don't compare yourself to other people. That's the first and foremost thing I want you to do. When I say that I see other people, it's because I see other people and I see their struggles. Sometimes it puts my own back into perspective, but other times it just reminds me that, you know what, I'm grateful to have another day. I'm so grateful to have another day. And if that's the only thing I learned in my 40s is I had the strength to heal, then it's all worth it. You know? Besides, I still got another year left, so who knows what can happen in this year. But it is my truth. And I want to spend the rest of my life enjoying it. And knowing that I have these self-love tools that we talked about last month. Siblings, I used to hate. Okay, this is actually good. Sibling says, older sibling, you used to hate when I would say, it is what it is. Remember that? Yes, I do remember that. I didn't remember that till right now when you brought it up to me. But, and she does this a lot. She'll remind me of things. And it's like, why are you bringing this up? But I'm glad she brought this up because you know what? I did hate it is what it is. Sometimes it feels like when somebody tells a woman to calm down. That does not work. Sometimes it's the tone. It doesn't always have to be it is what it is. Okay? If something's not working out in your favor, it doesn't have to be it is what it is. If you still feel like you need to be pushing forward in a direction, then push forward. Don't just settle. But when it comes to things that we know we can't change, that's when this term is perfect because it is what it is. And the minute you decide to embrace it and accept it, you take its power away. I have learned that. Don't give something your power that does not deserve your power. Okay? Truly. Do not give something your power that does not deserve your power. My mental health my dinged up mental health was taking my power from me because I was letting it. And some days it's going to. Some days it is going to lasso me and tie me to a fence post. But I know eventually I will get loose. Or I know that somebody in my tribe, in my circle, who knows what I struggle through is going to say, hey, how are you doing? And that right there, if you were honest and saying, I really could use somebody, or just maybe even I'm not well right now, that will untie you from that post. Vulnerability is a strength. And it's a superpower. In my personal opinion, when it comes to these kind of things, when it comes to mental health, vulnerability is a superpower because we need to let other people help us when they want to help us. All right. So advocating is a good thing. Advocating is a very good thing. So I'm glad I saved the Rebel deck for last because wow, that was deep. But anyways, here's the Aloha Project or the Aloha Actions of Aloha Challenge. You can hashtag that on Instagram or wherever you do stuff, but Actions of Aloha Challenge. Okay. Do a science project with your, ta-da! Do a science project with your ohana. Do a family. Do a science project with your ohana. I don't know. I do a science project. I don't know. I feel like the science project right now. But heal. Or you could bake, you know. They have really fun stuff, you know, like the oh God, like the Alka-Seltzer pills or tablets that, and you put you put it in a bottle and then you put the balloon over it and it blows up the balloon. All these kid stuff, right? Or you put water in like a pie tin and then you put a candle in. Well, you put the candle in first, make sure it sticks. Then you put and then you put the water, a little bit of water in it. And then you put like a jar over that after you've lit the candle. And then when the candle burns out, the water will suck in. There's all kinds of fun stuff. God, I remember all these things from when I was a kid. Oof. Hi, memories. But you can also bake. I don't know. Sometimes I think baking is a science, all right? Because there's measuring, right? All right. So let's mix up the Rebel deck. See what we got here. Remember, these are pretty vulgar, which that's why they're my favorite deck. Shame, regret, and guilt. Oh, I did not even pick these. This is what shuffled right out of the deck. Shame, regret, and guilt. Those are just bullshit. Forgive and let that shit go. All right? Even if you have to forgive yourself, let that shit go. Because shame, regret, and guilt are bullshit. Do not shame yourself. Do not regret anything. Do not feel guilty about anything. Move forward. Today is a new day. And again, if you cannot do it one day at a time, do it one moment at a time. Just take it step by step by step. Okay? Babies don't just get up and walk. They take time. They crawl. They start to crawl walk. Or they crawl toddle. And then they start walking. All right? So unless you are a four-legged animal that has to learn to walk in like an hour, just give yourself time. Even they take their time, all right? So again, shame, regret, and guilt. Oh my God, shame, regret, and guilt. Those are just bullshit. Do not feed into it. Stop talking. Shut your mouth and listen. If somebody comes to you with a dinged up mental health and they are just like, I don't know what's wrong with me, do not try to fix them. Please. If they ask you for help, they will ask you for help. If they ask you for advice, they're asking you for advice. But sometimes they just want you to shut the fuck up and listen. So, stop talking, shut up and just listen. All right? I had to learn that the hard way. They're there. Baby sibling knows what that means. Okay, I don't know what this one. This is the first time I've seen this one. Don't talk to anyone. Don't look at anyone. You need some time. You need some fucking time alone, and you know why. Okay, so don't talk to anyone. Don't look at anyone. You need some time alone, and you know why. And this is the perfect way to end. Get the fuck out of your head. Get the fuck out of your head. Get in your heart. It misses you. Your heart misses you. Okay? Up here? No. No. This up here, the noodle is always going to try to trip you and make you fall. All right? It has a lot of good thoughts. It has a lot of amazing things to say when it works with your heart. Passion doesn't come from your brain. Passion comes from your soul. It comes from your heart. And when you're passionate about something and your brain decides, okay, well, I'm going to cooperate, even sometimes reluctantly, all these things, they come from your heart. They come from, you know that feeling. Okay, so get the fuck out of your head. Get into your heart. It misses you. All right, get into your heart because it misses you. So I just want to say thank you to everybody because this has been very eye-opening and inspiring perspective for myself. And I say that because I think I just learned a lot about myself. And I think I just learned a lot about how I do have insecurities. And, I've never been ashamed of my age until I started doing this perspective. And I don't know why. Maybe I'm worried somebody out there will see it and judge me. But I am not ashamed anymore. I've never been ashamed of it before, and I choose to not be from this day forward, I choose to not be anymore. Because it's like I mentioned yesterday, every year around the sun is a gift for me. I almost didn't make it past 3 years old. I had a 50-50 chance of survival. I did, like I said, I had an NDE. A lot happened, but not a lot happened during that NDE. And, I know people are like, how do you remember that when you were 3? I have a freaking elephant memory, all right? I can remember a lot of things. And it's not always fun. It's not always great remembering everything. But I can in a lot of cases. And I do remember that. And I remember keeping it to myself because at first I didn't understand it. And then later when you get older and you start seeing, oh my God, I'm not alone, you don't want to be judged. And I don't care. Okay? I was in that tunnel and I could see the other side. And I'm being open and honest with that now because when I think about it, I'm still here. I was told it's not my time to go yet. I have a lot of work to do. And do I feel like I probably could have done this 20 years ago? Yeah, I do. However, I don't think I was meant to. Because while I can sit here and tell the younger people, take care of yourselves, heal, don't push it away, learn to go with the flow early, learn to be non-resistant early. I can also show people my age and older. It doesn't matter how old you are, it's never too late to start. It's never too late to start. You know? It's never too late to start. If you're passionate about something, go for it. Because don't let your age hold you back. Don't let people say, well, I'm too old to do this. I know a person who is a very good writer who's older than me. It's not me. Because you all know I'm just kind of freak out when it comes to people reading my writing. Although I did send 2 stories out that never got read. I'm not disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed in those 2 people that I sent that story to. You know who you are. But I know, life, busy, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, I know someone who's older than me, who has great ideas, who is an awesome writer. And their excuse is, I'm too old. You're never too old. If you're breathing, you're never too old. I mean, there are freaking people who are 90 years old graduating from law school just to say they did it. Okay? Because it's always what their passion was. And maybe they'll never practice law. Maybe they will. Who knows? I mean, there's a lady who just made the Guinness Book of World Records last year. She's a 100-year-old weightlifter. A 100-year-old weightlifter. You heard me correctly. She lives somewhere in the Midwest. There's another woman, I can't remember if she was British or American, who does gymnastics every day. She's in her mid-90s. Okay, she was a gymnast when she was younger, but that's how she stays in shape. Do not limit yourself to other people's beliefs. Do not. I came up with that saying during the Self-Love December, and I don't even know if it's mine, but it came out of my mouth and it felt good. Do not limit yourself to other people's beliefs. You do you. Don't limit yourself to what you think your age is either. You're just like Eileen reminded me yesterday, and baby sibling and older sibling have reminded me time after time after time. You are exactly where you're meant to be in this moment. So just embrace it. All the wonderful things that are meant to be in your life are not going to pass you by. They may be at a stop sign waiting for you to say, okay, waiting for you to wave it on and say, all right, I'm ready for you now. But you have to make that choice to be open and non-resistant. Okay? Take it from me. Take it from me. Do I think I'm old? No, I do not. Age is just a number to me. It's nothing more than a number. But for a long time, I let it be a problem for me. For several years now, I've let it be a problem for me. And I'm not going to let it be a problem for me anymore. Because I don't care. I don't care. I'm tired of putting my life aside because I'm worried other people are going to judge me. So, go out there, do your shit. Whatever it is that you want to do. Do a science project if you want to. You know, hey, maybe your kids have great ones they can bring home. Do it with them. You know, my nephew, he's 10. He made dinner for everybody last week, Friday, I think it was. Or maybe it was Saturday, Sunday, I don't know. He made dinner. And baby sibling said, for the most part. But he made it. All right? And I can't tell you how proud I am. My mom started teaching me how to cook when I was 8. I had an easy bake oven when I was 8 that didn't work, so I had to use the actual oven. That was scary because I am a klutz. But yeah, just even that is kind of like an experiment. Show people their talents and that they're limitless. You are limitless. You can do anything. And when you have that day, if you have a dinged up mental health, take the time for yourself. If you have to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. If you need to be angry, be angry. It's okay. You're allowed. Oh, see, baby sibling says both boys have science project due this month. Okay, mama, step in. Do it with your kids. So, anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. And baby sibling, when they're done with their science projects, tag Actions of Aloha. Do a science project with your children. You know what? I'm going to put this card in the comments just so, for people who do, tag them. These are cards that are great. I think they really need to gain traction. They IM'd me on the site on Instagram and said, hey, thanks for sharing our cards. And when people do that, when they show appreciation for, other people with their hashtags, I like to make sure that they get noticed. So again, to Leah, who bought me these because it's the Aloha perspective, thank you. And yeah, go follow them, Actions of Aloha on Instagram. They're amazing. And yeah, so that was another epic one, wasn't it? We went a lot longer than I thought we would. Tomorrow should be fun. Please come back. We're going through sacred cycles, and sacred cycles means whoop, we're going to be talking about the body. So I'm going to upload these and I'm going to the beach. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day today. I will see you back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Facebook Live, the Aloha Perspective. You can watch the replay later on YouTube. I also share a very, very short thing on TikTok. So under the Aloha Perspective. In fact, I need to pull those cards because I'm going to use one of them for that. So, oh, look. This must have been meant to be. This is actually the last card. Drop the fucking ego. Vulnerability is hot as fuck. Okay, we're going to leave that on that. Have a great day. Hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Take care of yourselves. Take deep breaths when you need to. And, yeah, go with the flow. Okay, stop resisting. Have a great day.